just share the screen. Okay, no question? Oh, can we use back the same group as assignment one? Can. All right, because it's a group assignment. All right, and you can actually use the same group members like previous. Okay, it's just that perhaps maybe because previously there are, I think there were like one or two people do not have a group. Okay, they don't belong to any group. Okay, so perhaps later on, if somehow I approach you and offer that particular member's name, I hope you will accept. Okay, all right. And again, I would like to mention in terms of the group assignment. Again, group assignment means that you can discuss among the group members. Okay, you please discuss among the group members. All right. So which means I'm expecting when I check the assignment answers. Okay, later on, I'm expecting that actually if we have like 5 people in a group, basically the 5 people assignments, the working actually is more or less the same, means that same answer. So if person A make a mistake, that means the rest of the 4 people also by right make a mistake, same mistake as well, because I'm expecting that you discuss. Okay, you discuss among yourself. Okay, so it's funny when I mark, I actually check. I actually check. Even though I mark only one person, but I check all the working for all members, and I found that there are like scripts where this one person A actually make a mistake, but person B actually got it correct. So then it tells me that maybe somehow there's like maybe miscommunication or whatever. All right, in terms of group work. This is actually it's a group work, group assignment. Okay, so it's a group assignment. So by right, you should be able to discuss. Now, if you distribute work, all right, if you distribute question like I mentioned, because I know that maybe quite a few like distributing like person A do question one, person B do question two, three, and so on like that. Okay, can, but at the end of the day, you make sure that you check also. You know, when you share your answer, you double check, because you know sometimes I think the mistake sometimes is like very silly mistake. It's very silly mistake, so it should not happen actually. So that means I think that then it tells me that perhaps you know when people just share answer and then copy bluntly like that, so that's what happened. Okay, when there's a like silly mistake. So make sure you discuss. Make sure you discuss. All right, before you submit your assignment. All right, make sure you discuss. You know, make sure you come to the agreement in terms of the answer. Even though you distribute work, all right, but make sure that all of you knows how to actually answer all the questions. Okay, so I do not want that at the end of the day only this person knows how to do question one, then that person only knows how to answer question two, then another person only knows how to answer question three. At the end of the day, by right, you must understand how to actually answer all the questions. Okay, all right. Okay, any more questions? So yes, you can use the same group. All right, group members. All right, as your assignment one. Okay, let us continue. All right. Okay, if there's no more question, let us continue with the application of trigonometry. Just to recap whatever that we have learned on Tuesday. Okay, so you have your what we call oblique triangle. This chapter is concerning with solving what we call oblique triangles. Oblique triangle is a triangle which none of the angle is 90 degrees. Okay, but again the sum of angles, all the three angles in a triangle equals 180. Okay, and oblique triangle, when we want to solve, there are 4 cases again. All right, you have what we call the ASA. All right, ASA or SAA type. That means you are given two angles and one side. Okay. And then you have what we call SSA, two side and one angle unknown. And then you have SAS type. This is also two side and one angle unknown. However, the difference between 2 and 3, 3 is where we call it included angle. Angle included, all right. Angle is in the middle. The one that is given is what we call included angle. Whereas case 2, all right, the angle is not the included angle. And case number 4 is where you are given all the three sides. All three sides are known. Basically, we said that the first two cases, we are going to solve this oblique triangle using what we call the law of sine. And the other two cases, we are going to solve using law of cosine. Okay, and I have actually given you example using the law of sine. All right. And again, this is our what we call the law of sine. So very simple, all right, very easy to remember. Either you use sine A over A equals sine B over B, or you can use A over sine A equals B over sine B. So you can either use this or you can use this. So it doesn't matter. And again, in terms of diagram, when we label, all right, the diagram commonly for oblique triangle, all the angles are represented by uppercase letter. Okay, all angles are declared as uppercase letter, and the side opposite side to the angle are denoted by lowercase letter. Okay, and again, as I mentioned last time, sometimes you may see angle given is in terms of maybe alpha, beta, gamma. This one is A, B, C. Okay, but again, whatever notation or symbol letters they use, all right, law of sine is still the same. Okay, when you establish your law of sine, or the formulas are actually it's the same. Okay, all right, and I have given you one or two example perhaps on the first case where you have your ASA or SAA type. Okay, where two angles and one side are given. So for case number 1, where you are given two angles and one side, okay, two angles and one side. So definitely your first step is to find the other angle, okay, because this is very easy because two angles are given. So the other angle, you just need to subtract by 180 degrees, okay, from the given two angles. So you can straight away get that angle. And then to find the other sides, okay, the two sides, you just apply your law of sine. Okay. All right. So I gave you last time two examples. All right. For case number 1. Okay. Then we actually stop at case number 2, but I think I gave you just one example. Okay. Case number 2 is where we call it ambiguous cases. Ambiguous cases means, all right, when you are given an oblique triangle which two sides and one angle are known, SSA type, okay, two side and one angle are known, then to solve this type of oblique triangle, it will lead you to solve either one triangle, or it can be two triangle, or non-triangle. Means non-triangle means no triangles or no solution. Okay. So that is case number 2. So case number 2 is what we call ambiguous case. So it is not that straightforward as compared to case number 1. Case number 1 just now, the case 1, because in the question, in a triangle, two angles are already be given. So the other angle to find is very straightforward. So just subtract the given angle by 180 degrees. So you get another one angle. However, for case number 2 here, because angle only one is known. So that means, all right, your job is to actually find two more angles. Okay, two more angles. So when you need to find two more angles, all right, okay, so I have given you like one example previously. Okay, where you are given only, in the question, given only one angle and then two sides. So when you want to find the other two angles, right? So first, you got to find out which angle you want to find. So you cannot just simply find, because if let's say in this particular example, angle A is given together with its opposite side, all right? Angle B you do not know, angle C also you do not know, but if you look at the other side that is given, all right, the information for the side that is given is the side which is opposite to angle C. So in this case, your first step is you must find this. All right, you have to find this, because you can only find this using the law of sine. You cannot find this angle B because the opposite length you do not know. So for this particular case, for this particular example, definitely you are going to find this one first, all right, by using the law of sine. So but when you use your law of sine, okay, remember until here, okay, the value of sine is positive. So you know that sine positive will occur in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Okay, this understanding goes back to your chapter 2. When sine is positive, all right, of course, uh, angle, all right, angle can be happen in quadrant 1, it can also happen in quadrant 2. So you have two angles, all right, where sine is positive. Okay, another thing is that you have to also understand that in a triangle, the sum, all right, the sum of three triangles also equals 180. Okay, the sum of three angles in a triangle also equals 180. So in that case, when you want to find angle C, all right, you got to consider angles in quadrant 1 as well as angles in quadrant 2. Okay, angles in quadrant 1 as well as angle in quadrant 2. You got to consider that. Okay, you got to consider that. Why? Because sine is positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. All right, and the fact that the sum of the angles in a triangle also equals to 180, which is 180, that means angle between 0 to 180 will also lie or happen in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Okay, so in that case, what you need to do last time, you need to consider, you got to consider angle between 0 and 180. That means you consider angle in quadrant 1 as well as angle in quadrant 2. Okay, so this one is actually from your understanding in chapter 2. Okay, so when you consider that, you find those two angles first. So of course, calculator will definitely give you angle in quadrant 1 straight away. Then you got to find angle in quadrant 2. You subtract 180, all right, 180 by this number, you get this. Okay, whether we accept both angle or whether we only accept one angle, then what we said that we got to check. What, how we check? We just add, all right, the one that we got we add with the one that is given from the question. So 61 is given from the question. So when it is still less than 180, that means we will accept this angle 34, because then if the sum of these two angles less than 180, that means there is another possible angle that we can find, angle number 3. However, if our sum for these two angles, like this one, goes beyond 180, that means it is not possible to find the other angle, okay, the third angle, because the sum of two angles already go beyond 180. So that means in this case, we said that we discard our 146 degrees, or we discard the angle in quadrant 2. So in this case, for this particular example previously, we said that we are solving only one triangle. So then we can straight away find the other third angle by subtracting by 180 degrees. And then we can find our missing side, which is in this case is one side, which is B, using the law of sine. Okay, so this is one example of the ambiguous cases where it lead to only solving one triangle. Okay. Okay, then I continue. All right, let's continue with next example. Okay, all right, let's look at this example now. Okay, let's say I'll just okay, solve triangle ABC. If A equals 75 degrees, A equals 51 and B equals 71. All right, just rough sketch only. Let's say I'll just make a rough sketch. Okay, this is just a rough sketch for an oblique triangle. So assuming that this is ABC, all right. So again, let's say this is 75 degrees, even though this doesn't look logic, all right, because 75 degrees is actually is a bit bigger. All right, so 75, assuming that is 75 degrees, that is A given, and then you are given the opposite side, all right, which is 51, and then B is 71. Okay, all right, so again, this is the case number 2, where you are given 2 sides and 1 angle. So then what you need to find is you need to find this angle C, you need to find angle B, as well as you need to find what is side C. Okay, all right, or length of C. Okay, so again, like previous I mentioned, okay, which one you want to start off with? Definitely you are going to find angle. Okay, that is your first step. So you need to find angle. Okay, so but which angle you want to find? Okay, so you need to find which angle. So which angle to find? Remember, you look at your diagram. In this case, all right, if you look at B here, and it's opposite, all right, opposite side. So length of B is given, all right. So therefore, your first step is to find out angle B. So you cannot find angle C because this small c is not given. You do not know. So you cannot find this one. You have to find this because you know this one. You know the side of angle B. Okay, opposite side. Okay, so then in this case, your first step is to find angle B by using law of sine. So then the way you establish your law, all right, because you want to find angle B, so then you can say sine B over B equals, okay, the one that is given, the one that is known is A, so then sine A over small a. So that is your law, okay? So then what you want is to find sine B, you want to find B angle, so you can cross multiply B times sine A over A. All right, so then when I substitute this, all right, B is 71 times sine 75 degrees over A is 51. So if I just compute this value first. Okay, let me get my calculator. Okay, you can also check, all right. Make sure you have your own calculator also. Make sure you know how to use them. Make sure you compute correctly. Okay, I think you will also get one. Okay, if we just round to maybe 2 decimal place, 1.34. Okay, so 1.34. Now if you overlook the value here, you straight away press sine inverse. There's a error, syntax error or math error in your calculator. Why is that? Because remember, sine function, the range is between 1 and -1. So you cannot have value for sine goes beyond 1. So this is already 1.34, which is more than 1. So in this case, all right, it is not possible to have such value for sine. Okay, so it is not possible. That's when you have a math error. Because again, as I mentioned, all right, sine function, the range is between 1 and -1. So you cannot have value beyond that, okay, beyond that range, okay, of sine. So when you got your sine, in this case sine B is 1.34, which is more than 1, obviously you got math error, not possible. So that means there's no solution. This is the case, this is the example whereby there is no solution. So you can say that if you want to write the reason, you can say that because, all right, sine, all right, can never exceed 1, value of 1. So there is no angle B, all right, for which sine B roughly equals to 1.34, and hence, all right, therefore, thus there is no triangle, or you can say no solution. So this is the case whereby there is no solution. No triangle actually. There's no triangle that you want to solve in the first place. Okay. Now, if you remember, if you recall, perhaps you have done this way before, maybe during school days, perhaps. Okay. You can remember, you can actually use you can draw, okay, you can draw this the information given. Okay, but anyway, this question is because you are given like A here is A51, B is 71, so this is actually is very long. Okay, so if you want to actually use ruler, you can do that. Okay, for example, if let's say maybe if instead of 5, instead of A51, B is 71, all right, maybe let's say you have angle there, that is A is 75. Okay, instead of 51A, maybe I'll just put A is 5. Okay, and then B is 71, maybe I said B is 7. So what you can do, you can actually use ruler. Maybe you did this before. All right, you just draw like one straight line, just draw one straight line, and assuming that this is going to be your A, you can use protector. Okay, use your protector, and then you find out angle 75 degrees, assuming that is 75 degrees angle using protector. Okay, and then what you need to do, you need to measure. Okay, you need to measure. All right, so let's say this is A, you have angle B, and then maybe this is C, something like that. Okay, so you take a ruler. So with the protector, this is 75 degrees. All right, so if this is my B, all right, that means this is going to be 7. So you just take a ruler and then measure for 7, maybe 7 inches or 7 centimeter, whatever. All right, so once you got your 7 like that, okay, then because this is A, this is A. So that means opposite here would be small a. So that means from the question is 5. So you take your ruler, let's say assuming that until here is 7 unit or 7 centimeter or 7 inches, and then you need just 5 inches here. So if you do that, like you take a ruler, you measure 5 somewhere like something like that. So it's like hanging. It's like hanging. So you end up having like this. There's no triangle actually in the first place. Okay, because this is a logic. Okay, it's a logic question. Okay, so you will have something like that. It's hanging. So that means there's no solution in the first place. There's no triangle. There's no triangle that you are going to solve. Okay, so this is actually is what we call the ambiguous case. All right, for what we call the uh, ASS or SSA. All right, you are given two sides and one angle. Okay, so just now the previous example, you have one triangle. Okay, so this example there's no triangle. Okay, because if you again, as I said, geometrically you can draw using your ruler and protector. All right, you will end up having something like this. Okay, you don't have actually triangle. Okay, all right, so let's look at another example. Maybe this example, the next one, I'm giving you the one that you have two triangles, okay, in the question. Solving for two triangles. Okay, if there's any question, you just ask, okay? Okay, so let's say now you want to solve a triangle ABC. If A equals 40 degrees, A equals 54, and B equals 62. Okay, so again, let me just draw a rough sketch. Let's say this is your, again, ABC. So you are given A, which is 40 degrees, and you are given this is 54, and then 62 here, opposite side for angle B. So then what you want is to find C again, B, as well as this C. Okay? All right. Again, the first step is to find angle. So which missing angle that you want to find first? So again, if you look at this, you are going to find angle B. Why? Because side B, the opposite, all right, length of the angle B, which is given, that is 62. So you are to find angle B first. That is your first step. So then again, you are using law of sine. You can establish your law or your formulas like this, which is sine B over B equals sine A over A. Okay, so then sine B equals B sine A over A. So if I substitute the value, B is 62, sine A is 40 degrees, small a is 54. If I use my calculator, just to compute this one first, I got roughly, okay, let's say I'm writing this in terms of 4 decimal places. So 0.7380. 0.7380. I hope you got the same answer, all right, as me. You can compute as well, all right. Okay, then again, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to consider two angles, all right, because then between 0 and 180 degrees, all right, between 0, all right, between 0 degrees and 180 degrees, okay, there'll be two angles, okay, for which sign is positive, okay. So then how do you actually compute? Again, use calculator again, sine inverse. Okay, so that means maybe I will denote B with a subscript 1, all right, as our angle in quadrant 1. Okay, so B1, if I use my calculator, sine inverse 0.7380, okay, I get roughly, okay, to the nearest degree, 48 degrees. So I just round to the nearest degree, 48 degrees. So this is quadrant 1 angle, okay. And then what about quadrant B? I mean B2 or quadrant 2. So maybe I denote by B2, okay. Now remember, this is actually is the angle in quadrant 2. So I can just subtract, isn't it? 48 degrees. Okay, so in this case, all right, it will be 132. And 132 is less than 180 degrees. Okay, 132 is still less, definitely is less than 180 degrees. All right, and this is actually 132 is angle in quadrant 2. And moreover, I can check also that 132 degrees, if I add with the given angle in the question. The given angle in the question is 40 degrees. So when I add this 40 degrees, okay, this is still less than 180 degrees. Okay, 172 degrees, which is still less than 180 degrees. That means I can find the third angle because the sum of these two angles still less than 180 degrees. So that means there is another third angle that I can compute. Okay, angle in quadrant 1, definitely no dispute because this is so very acute angle, 48 degrees. Definitely I add with 40 degrees, still less than 180. Okay, but this one, because when I add with 40, still less than 180 degrees. So that means I have another third angle that I can compute. So which means this is possible. That means there are two, okay, with these cases here, all right, these two answers, these two angles, that means there are two angles, all right, that two angles B, okay, between 0 degrees and 180 degrees, okay, all right. So there are two angles B with the given condition, okay, two angles between 0 and 180 degrees, and also with the given condition. With given condition means condition in the question. Okay, so in that case, what I need to do now, I need to solve one by one. So just one by one. Let's say I'll start with triangle 1 first. Triangle number 1. Triangle 1. Okay, triangle number 1 first, or triangle 1 first. Okay, so that means condition from the questions still applies. That means A equals 40 degrees, A small a 54, B equals 62. It's just that now your B1, okay, maybe I'll write again B1. Okay, so B1 is where we got just now 48 degrees. Yeah, 48 degrees. That is B1. Okay, so now we can find the other angle. That means straight away C equals 180 degrees, right? Minus 48 degrees. This is B1. So maybe I'll just put C1 because I follow the same subscript for triangle 1, C1. Okay, 180 degrees minus 48 degrees, as well as minus the one that is given, which is A just now, 40 degrees. So subtract that. So in this case, I'll get my C1 is 92 degrees. So that is my angle C1. Okay, then I can find my small C1. Okay, this is the side, the opposite length, the opposite side of angle C1. So I'm using law of sine. Okay, then I can write it as like this. C1 over sine C1 equals, okay, A over sine A. So C1, okay, equals A sine C1 over sine A, which is A just now 54, A from the question is 54. And then C1 is 92, the one that we've just gotten, 92 degrees. Okay, sine A given in the question, 40 degrees. Then you can use your calculator. All right, you can use your calculator. Okay, I round this. Roughly, it is 84 unit. Okay, so this is C1. So this is triangle 1 or triangle number 1. Okay, maybe we can find triangle number 2. Okay, maybe I'll need, or maybe I'll put here. I just need some more space. Okay, all right. So then triangle number 2. Okay, triangle number 2. Okay, just now our B2 is this one, 132 degrees. That is our B2. Okay, so our B2 just now is 132 degrees. Okay, so to find our angle C2, all right, so C2 equals, all right, so again the same thing, 180 degrees minus 132 degrees, as well as minus the given angle in the question, which is 40 degrees. So you subtract this, all right, you got only 8 degrees. Okay, and also you can find, now the next step is to find your small C2 is the length to the opposite angle C2 by using the law of sine. You can establish as C2, okay, C2 over sine C2 equals A over sine A. C2 equals A sine C2 over sine A. Then substitute the value. Okay, again, A just now, A is 54, right? Yeah, 54 from the question, 54. And then sine, okay, C2 is the one in this case, 132 degrees. All right. Oh, sorry, 8 degrees. It's not B, eh? C2 is sine 8 degrees over, okay, A is 40 degrees from the question. So if you use calculator, what do you get? Okay, roughly you round this to 12 unit. Okay, 12 unit length. So I can conclude. Okay, I can conclude that there are two solutions or two triangles. Okay, for triangle 1, the solution is B1, all right, roughly 48 degrees, and then C1 just now roughly 92 degrees, and small C1 is just now what, 84. That is for triangle 1. And then for triangle 2, For triangle 2, the solution is, alright, B2 is roughly 132 degrees just now. And then C2 is 8 degrees. And small c2 is 12. Okay? All right. What does it mean having these two solutions or two triangles? What does it mean? If it is one triangle, okay, if it is one triangle, like earlier, oh, okay, I do. If it's a one triangle, this one, for this question, last time, okay, the first example, one triangles. One triangle means what? Just one triangle. One triangles mean one triangle. Okay, one oblique triangle. If it is like this one, no triangle, just now I have shown you that you may end up, if you were to sketch this correctly, properly, geometrically using ruler protector, you will end up having this type of triangle. Then suddenly it's hanging like that. You cannot form a triangle. It hangs like that. Okay, so this is where no solution. Okay, no triangle or no solution. So you have like this. What does it mean by solving for two triangles? If it's two triangles, this is the case whereby you have two triangles. Okay, what does it mean? It means that, all right, it means that two triangle means you will have something like this. Okay, something like that. Okay, maybe something like this. Okay, so that is two triangle. This is what it means by two triangles. Solving for two triangles. It's not two separate triangle, it's just one big, like, but you have like two like this. This is what it means by two triangles. Okay, that's why if you look at in terms of angle, like for example this angle C190, C192, C2 is only 8, right? C2 is only 8, C1 is 92. So which means maybe you may have like this is very small 8, and then this is a big one, 92, something like that. It's actually logic. Okay, so you will have like these two triangles like that. Okay, so this is what it means by solving for two triangles. So it is not about two separate triangles. No, it's one big triangle, but you have like that just now, the sketch. Okay, you will have like something like this, maybe something like that. Two triangles. Okay, so this is what we mean by solving for two triangles. Okay, so you have like one triangle, two triangles, or no triangle for ambiguous case. So ambiguous case is for the case whereby you are given side angle. Okay, side angle. So it's a SSA, side angle. So like this, you are given side angle. Okay, side and then angle. So this is the type of the ambiguous case, because the next case is also about two side and one angle, but that will be later on side angle side. So that is angle included. Okay, included angle in the middle, but this angle is not in the middle. It is side angle. Okay. Okay. Any question? Any question? Any question, class? Are you all okay? Can you all follow? Is it understood?
Yes,
Is it
madam.
understood, everyone?
Yes, madam.
All right, okay. Okay. I think this is now 8:55. So perhaps I'll give you a 5 minutes break. Okay, we take a break 5 minutes. Then after this, I'll continue with the other two cases for law of cosine. Okay, and then we will finish up, okay, the topic with the area as well as some application question. Okay, so I give you 5 minutes break. So 9 o'clock, we'll continue. Okay, but in the meantime, if people got question, I'm still here. All right, okay, 5 minutes break. Okay. Okay, T1 and Fahman. You cannot log into Webex. You cannot join in.
Can, madam, but it keep delay. I don't
Oh, okay,
see.
but
I see your slide, but the same slide every time I log in.
oh, what about
I don't
T1?
know
Also the
why.
same. But now, what about now? What do you see on the screen?
Now I just see the first step that you have, right, to find angle by using law of sines. First step. That's all.
Oh, not this side where this is the conclusion. There are two solution or two triangles. You don't see this.
No. I just hear you writing, but it doesn't appear on my screen. I don't know why. Madam.
Can you somehow exit and then try to join again? Possible or not? Can you try?
I have tried 6 to 7 times, but
It's the
it
same.
same slide. I don't know why.
Where do you stay, Paman?
Hulu Selangor.
Ulu Selangor. T1, can you hear me?
Now okay, madam.
No, okay, all right. T1, where do you stay?
Intel, madam.
Sorry?
Telo Intel.
Oh, Teluk Intan, Perak. Okay, all right. So now you're okay, T1?
Yes, madam. Now okay.
Okay. All right, Fahman, if you can say never mind, you just listen. Try to just listen, and then maybe later you can just ask your friends, whatever. Is that okay?
Okay, madam. Okay.
All right. Okay, I think we will continue now. It's already 9 o'clock. Okay, so we are going to continue with what we call the law of cosine. All right, law of cosine. Okay, I hope you are actually already familiar with this, because this is again something that you have done before. All right, for law of cosine, basically it can be straightforward. Okay, it will be straightforward, not like law of sine where you have ambiguous case. Law of cosine is very straightforward. And for the law of cosine, if you look at this, okay, from the formula itself, okay, you have these three formulas. These three formulas just to denote by, if you want to find side A, for example, so you will have to use this first formula. If you want to find the length for B, then you have this second formula. If you want to find the length of C, side C, then this is the formula. And if you look at the formula itself, in one formula, you have one angle here. And if you have done this many times for law of cosine, that's actually a pattern. Okay, that's a pattern actually. All right, that's a pattern for law of cosine. Okay, because you have such formula, that means in the question definitely you are given only one angle. Okay, you are given only one angle, and you will be given two sides. Okay, that's why it is actually for two side and one angle. Okay, two side and one angle, and the angle is the included angle, because if you look at this type of formula, if you want to find side A, definitely side B must be given in the question. Side C also will be given in the question, and angle A is given. So angle A, side B, side C. So that means this angle A is actually is a included angle. Okay, we call it included angle. That means your oblique triangle will be like this. For example, this is A, B, and C. All right. So if let's say for the first one, the first formula here, okay, so the first formula, this is okay, of course this is, I can just write this is small a, small b, small c. Okay, for the first formula, if you want to find, this, okay, this is what you want to find. If let's say this is what you want to find from the question. What is A? Definitely, this one must be given, this one must be given, and this angle must be given. So this angle A here is what we call included angle. Angle in the middle. So you are given side, angle, side. Okay? Side, angle, side. So that's why you have what we have here, which is the type of this SAS type. Side, angle, side. Okay? Side, angle, side. So if you want to find B, A and C will be given together with the included angle B. Okay? If you want to find C, A is given, B is given. So you have this. So this is what we call law of cosine. Okay, law of cosine. Okay, so law of cosine is straightforward. Let me just straight away write the example. Okay, let's do example for this case. Case 3. Okay, solve triangle ABC. All right, if small a is given as 13, small c is given as 6, and angle B is given as 20 degrees. So if let's say I just want to sketch this roughly. Okay, so let's say this is ABC, for example. Okay, so we are given A here is 13, C is given 6, and this included angle is 20 degrees. So we are to find, all right, we are to find later on again angle C, angle A, as well as small b. Okay, this is what we want. Okay, all right, so straight away, if this is the case, definitely using the law of cosine, you have to use the law of cosine for this case. If you are given two side and one included angle, definitely your first step is to find b, small b, length of b, side b. This is what you need to find. So you are going to use law of cosine. You cannot use law of sine in this case. First step to find b, definitely you have to use law of cosine. Okay, but there is no way you can use law of sine for the first step here. So by law of cosine, okay, your formula is this. You want to find b, so the formula goes like this. B squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b. So as I said, A is given, C is given, and angle B is given. So it's straightforward. Just use formula. That means, all right, you can substitute A. A is 13 degrees. 13. A is 13. C is given as 6 unit minus 2 AC cosine. Okay, cosine 20 degrees from the question. Okay, so to find B, you just need to take the square root. Right, you can compute that. 13 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 13 times 6 times cosine 20. If I just compute this, actually you can just do this under 1 square root. The fastest is actually under 1 square root. You just compute like this. cosine 20 degrees. So just straight away, using calculator, compute the value in the under the square root, and then take the square root. Okay, so if you do that, okay, roughly, if let's say I'll just round to the maybe 1 decimal place, let's say for B, just take 1 decimal place. So I'll get, from my calculator, I'll get 7 point, I hope you can get the same answer. You can also use your calculator. I hope you get the same answer. 7.6, okay? 1 decimal place. Okay? Alright. So that is B. Okay, so once you have found B, alright, so once you have found small b, okay, then the next step is now we are to find our angle, because now we have all the three sides, right? So B, this is the length. So now we are left with two angles, angle A as well as angle C. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether to find angle A first or angle C first, since you already have all the three sides. Okay, however, to find the angle, okay, in this case, let's say my second step is I want to find angle, C. Okay, now it doesn't matter, you can use, actually you have the two options. You can use law of cosine, as well as you can also use law of sine in this case. If you use law of cosine, how do you use law of cosine? If you want to use law of cosine, then you want actually angle C. So obviously you must use the formula which has cosine C. Okay, so you have a formula with the cosine C. So that's the one that you want to use. However, you got to rearrange your formula. So that means if you want to use law of cosine, which I'm not going to use law of cosine, but I just want to show you. If you use law of cosine, you are using this formula. C squared equals to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. Because you want this, you want C. So you got to use this formula. And you got to rearrange. Now, A, B, C, now you know. You got all this information already. Okay? So what you need to do, you got to rearrange. So you have to rearrange. So bring this minus to, bring this C2 to the other side. Whatever you do, you got to rearrange. Maybe you can rearrange like this. Cosine C, and then A squared plus B squared minus C squared, and then cosine C equals to A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. So you got to do that. Then only you can find your angle C. Which it can be also tedious, actually. Alright, and if you are not careful, alright, you are bound to actually make mistake. So actually the suggestion is, the first step, definitely you have to use law of cosine to find the missing length. Okay, then the next step is you use law of sine. That will be much better and easier. Even though law of cosine also can be used, the easiest is actually law of sine. And you will get the same answer. You'll get the same answer. Okay, remember, whatever method you use, alright, you will get the same answer. So if I use law of sine, alright, in this case I want to use law of sine, because then it is much easier. The law of sine is quite straightforward. I can straight away like sine C over C equals, okay, maybe I'll just use B over B in this case, because I do not know A. Alright, I cannot use A, because A we need to find. So the one that I know is already, the one that we already given is B. Okay, so I can just establish my identity or law or formula like this. So then my sine C equals to C sine B over B. Then I can just substitute the value. Okay, my small c, 6. Okay, C is 6. Sine B is 20 degrees. And then small b, I just found to be 7.6. Okay, all right. So then sine, okay, in this case, if I want to find C, then it's just sine inverse of the whole thing. Okay, so I just need to use calculator straight away. So actually, yeah, you can just straight away write like this. Then you can straight away compute sine inverse of the whole thing. Okay, that will be much easier. Okay, let's start. Okay, so if I use calculator, I just round to the nearest degree. I'll get 16 degrees. So I'll just round to the nearest degree. Okay, during exam, all right, we will mention if we want to actually ask you to give us answer in terms of nearest degree or 1 decimal place, 2 decimal place, we will mention. If we don't mention, it's actually up to you. You can round, you can give us decimal, up to you. Okay, so if we mention, you follow. Okay, so this is 16 degrees. Then the last step is to actually find the other missing angle in this case, because you already got C, B is given, C you already found 16 degrees. So to find angle A, then it's very straightforward. That A equals to 180 degrees, subtract with 16 as well as the one that is given from the question, which is 20. So then you compute this 144 degrees. Okay, so therefore the solution is, all right, B just now 7.6, A or C 16, and A is 144. Okay, question. Any question? Okay. All right. So law of cosine is straightforward. So law of cosine, the first step, definitely you are going to find the missing length, because this is SAS type. So two sides are given. So you have one missing side, one missing length. So your first step is to find that missing length. So that missing length, you are going to use law of cosine straight away. So second step and the third step basically is to find the other two missing angles. So this first angle that you want to find, the first missing angle, you are to actually use either law of sine or law of cosine, it doesn't matter. But the easiest is actually using law of sine. Later, if you want, you can try, all right, for this question, same question here, you try use law of cosine and see whether you got the same answer or not. Okay, by right, you should get the same answer. Okay, so you can either use law of cosine or law of sine, but again, as I said, if you use law of cosine, it will be a bit tedious. You got to rearrange and make sure it's correct. The easiest is actually using law of sine. But there are cases whereby maybe in the question, perhaps you might want to actually use law of cosine to find angle. So that one, basically, it depends on the question, especially on application question. Okay, or perhaps the last case, later on after this, I'll give you another example where you are given all the three sides. So definitely, if you want to find angle, the first angle you want to find, definitely you got to use law of cosine. You cannot use law of sine. Okay, you cannot use law of sine. Law of sine, if you have one angle is known. If none of the angles are known in the triangle, definitely to find the first angle, you must use law of cosine. But like this, okay, you can actually use law of sine. Then the last angle, just subtract by 180 degrees. So this is straightforward. Okay, straight away, let's look at case number 4. I'll give you, this is the case whereby you have all the three sides. Okay, you have all the three sides. Let me just give you a question on this. Okay, for three sides. So solve the triangle ABC. If A, okay, this is the case whereby you are given all the length. Small a is 8, b equals 6, and c equals 7. So you see that this is the case whereby you are given just all the three sides. So let's say this is ABC. So this is 8, and then this is 6, this is 7, something like that. Okay, so you have your missing angle here. Okay, so those are all the missing angle. So in this case, definitely, all right, you might want to find, definitely you have to find angle. Okay, but there is actually a guideline which angle to find. All right, which angle to find. Actually, it doesn't matter, but there is a guideline that it is good that you find the largest, the angle to the largest or the longest side, or that means that is the largest angle. Okay, all right, largest angle, the opposite length is also the longest. Okay, so in this case, if you look at the given here, A is 8, B is 6, C is 7. So the guidelines say that perhaps, you find the largest angle, all right, and the largest angle is determined by the longest side. So that means the longest side is this 8. So that means, all right, perhaps the first step is to find, all right, is to find angle A. All right, to find angle A. All right, so because angle A will be the largest angle. Okay, so it is determined by the longest side. So this is actually is a guideline. But if you don't want to follow, it's fine. Okay, it's not a problem. But it is good to follow. Okay. So again, as I said, because for this triangle, none of the angles, all right, none of the angle is given. So the first angle that you need to find, you must use law of cosine. You cannot use law of sine. Law of sine, you must know one angle. If you know already one angle, then you can use law of sine. But in this case, you do not know any angle. So then definitely you must use law of cosine, because law of cosine, since you have all the three sides, you can rearrange. So the formula that you want, all right, to find angle A is the one that you have this, this is by law of cosine. So the angle, the formula is this one. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. So you want the one with the cosine A. Okay, so you got to rearrange like I showed just now. Okay, so I hope you can follow this. I just straight away write this cosine A. All right, cosine A will be B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. I hope you can follow this. Okay, because I've shown you just now how do you rearrange. Okay, so which means my A would be my cosine inverse. Okay, cosine inverse of what? Okay, so now plug in all the values. B squared, 6 squared, plus C squared, minus A squared, over 2 times B times C. Okay, straight away use your calculator. Okay. Mia, you cannot see also my slide. Now you cannot see my slide. Can you see now, Mia?
No, madam.
You cannot see.
Yes.
Uh,
I try rejoin, but still cannot see.
oh, okay. Okay, I hope you can just listen, Mia? Just continue listening. Hopefully after this, I think it's about the internet, isn't it? Is it the internet connection?
I think no, because I can
Huh?
hear you
Oh, you can hear
clearly.
me. All right. Okay, what happened, Farman, can you still see? You cannot see still, is it? Farman,
Cannot
are
see,
you there?
madam. I
You
just
cannot
see
see,
your face, madam.
Oh, you see my, okay. So that means you cannot see what I'm sharing.
Ah, yes.
T1, T1, are you okay now? T1? I also don't know why some can see, some cannot. Okay. So then you just try listen on. All right. Okay, Mia and Farman. Then I'll think of something else after this. Okay.
Can you share
All right.
the tutorial after the class, madam?
Okay, that's right. Later I'll think of, maybe I'll try to, I think because I'm recording this, so I hope I will be able to share. Okay? Or if not, I'll share this slide. Okay? All
Okay,
right. But
madam.
in the meantime, you just continue listening. All right. Okay, so if you use your calculator, what do you get for A?
75, madam.
Okay,
1.5.
75. Or maybe one decimal place, 75.5,
76. Yeah.
Okay, 75. 75. Maybe I'll just write as 75.5 degrees. Okay, I'll just write in terms of one decimal place for the angle. Okay, then only the next step is we want to find another angle. So maybe I'll just find angle B. Right, I've already gotten my angle A, 75.5. So now my next angle that I want to find is, maybe I'll just find B. Okay, so it doesn't matter you want to find B or C, doesn't matter. So let's say I want to find B. Okay, so again, this is where I said maybe the second step to find angle B, it will be much easier using law of sine. You can use law of cosine, but again, you got to rearrange like the one that we've shown you here, the first step. Okay, you got to rearrange. If you want to use law of cosine for B, you got to rearrange, or else perhaps straight away you use law of sine, because then law of sine will be much easier, right? So what I want is B, so I can write it as sine B over B equals, I've already gotten my A, so then equals to sine A over A. So then my sine B equals to B sine A over A. So then I can find my B as sine inverse. Okay, then B, all right, small b just now, 6 sine A, we just gotten 75.5 degrees over, all right, A is 8 from the question. Okay, then you use your calculator. Give me the one decimal place. Let's say one decimal place. Okay, 46. I hope you got the same thing, same angle, 46.6. So once you got your B, then the last step is to find angle C. So this one is just straightforward. 180 degrees, subtract by 46.6 as well as 75.5, the one that you've just gotten. So then roughly this is 57.9 degrees. So you can conclude, like my conclusion, therefore the solution is, okay, conclusion is the solution is all the angle A 75.5, B 46.6, and C is 57.9. Okay? All right. Any question? So law of cosine is very straightforward. So I hope you can understand this. All right. It's not that difficult. Okay. For law of cosine. For the other two cases, SAS type, which is side angle side, the included angle just now. And then this is the SSS type. All the three sides are given. So basically for case 3 and case 4, which you are supposed to use law of cosine, the first step you must use law of cosine. Basically, there will be like 3 steps in the solution. Okay, to solve an oblique triangle using law of cosine for case 3 and case 4, you have like 3 steps, right, for the solution. First step, you must always use law of cosine. And then second step only you have the option. Second step you have the option. Either you use law of sine or law of cosine. But again, as I said, the much easier is using law of sine. Okay. So then the third step is just compute straightforward. Okay, 180 degrees subtract by the given angles previously. Okay, that or the angles that you have known previously. Okay, so basically those are what we call law of cosine. Okay, I'm going to proceed. Okay, because then when we talk about application of trigonometry, then because we are dealing with oblique triangle, then we have actually area that is associated to oblique triangle. Finding area of a triangle. Okay, now all the while, perhaps from your even primary school, when you learn about area of a triangle, you remember this is always the basic formula. Area of a triangle is given by half times base times height. Okay, half times base times height. That is the basic formula for area of a triangle. Okay, now that you've learned about trigonometry, so you have actually other forms of area of a triangles which related to trigonometry. Okay, and the formula area here for a triangle, for oblique triangle, for this type of formula you can use when you are given the case of just now, SAS type, side angle side, case number 3, that type of oblique triangle. Angle given is the included angle, 2 side and 1 angle. If you look at all these 3, these are all the same. It's just that it depends on what sides and angle, all right, are given. So you see, like the first formula here, half times A times B times sine C. Half AB sine C. That means side A, side B, and angle C are given. So this is actually is the included angle. Alright? Or if your side B and C are given and you will be given angle A, so this is the formula you use. Or if in the question you are given side A and C and angle B, this is the formula, all right, for area that you're going to use. So basically, this formula is actually is for SAS type of oblique triangle, side angle side or included angle. Okay, case 3. Okay, case number 3, that type of oblique triangle. So if you are given that, this is actually is the easier formula to use to find area. Okay, so this one actually also very straightforward. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, let's say you want to find the area of oops, find the area of the triangle A equals 7.0, or maybe this one with a unit, maybe feet, for example, 7, and then B given is 9.3 feet, and C is given as 86 degrees. So the moment you see this type of question, side A and B given and then angle C, this is where included angle. This is about two side and included angle. Let's say ABC. Alright, so you are given this is 7, this is 9.3, and this is 86 degrees. So this is where you have side, angle, side. Okay, S, A, S. So when you are given like this, then to find areas, very straightforward. So you are going to use half AB sine C. So that means half times A times B times sine 86 degrees. Then if you use calculator, you get roughly, maybe I'll give in terms of 2 decimal places, 32.47 feet square, because this is area. Okay, so area is actually is quite straightforward. Okay, using this formula, half AB sine C, half BC sine A, all right? Okay, or if I give you another example, maybe. Okay, find the area of the triangle B equals 6, C equals 4, 3, and angle A is 30 degrees. Okay, so area half times B times C sine A, which means half times 6 times 4, 3 times sine 30 degrees. Okay, so you'll get 10 point, let's say 2 decimal places. Okay, units square is the area. Okay, so this one actually very straightforward using this formula. So basically, again, this formula for area here is meant for oblique triangle for case number 3, which is side, angle, side. Okay, angle is included, angle. What if you are given oblique triangle like case number 4, where you are given only all the 3 sides, no angle is given? Okay, there is a formula for that, in which what they call Heron's formula. This is actually is a mathematician name. Okay, it's a name after a mathematician, which is Heron. All right, so he came up with this type of formula. This is where a formula of an oblique triangle where you are only given all the 3 sides, so you don't know any angle inside. So there's a formula here. Look at the formula here, like this, that the area, okay, you have a square times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, in which what is S is actually is half times, okay, the sum of 3 sides, A plus B plus C. That is small s. So if you want to use this Heron formula, you find the S first, you compute the S, you sum all the sides, divide by 2, that will give you your S, then only you can substitute into this formula. So this one also very straightforward. Okay, let's say again, you want to find area. Okay, find the area of the triangle given. A is 5, B is 6, and C is 9. So this is the Heron's formula. You know all the three sides. So what you need to do, first you compute the S. It's a sum of all the three sum of all the three sides. That means 5 plus 6 plus 9 divide by 2. Okay, so 5 plus 6, 11 plus 9, 20 divided by 2. So that means it's 10. Then only, therefore, area under one big square root S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. Okay, all right. Then you use your calculator. You'll get this roughly, let's say, two decimal places also, 14.14. So this is what we call Heron's formula. Using, given case 4 type of triangle, SSS. So all the three sides are given, so you can find the formula using this Heron's formula. Okay, sometimes in the question, they will give you like, solve the following, given this triangle, okay, or given the following triangle, all right, solve the triangle, and then find the area. Question may say like that sometimes, okay. Given this triangle, then you are given whatever information, okay. And then number 1, solve the solution, solve the triangle. Solve the triangle means you find the missing length and missing angle, okay. Solve the triangle, and then number 2, find the area, okay. Find the area. So if that's the case, then actually it's up to you, because if they ask you to solve, that means you already got all the angles and you got all the sides. So then the next step is, when they ask you to find the area, you have the choice either to use Heron's formula, or you can use your just now half AB times C. All right, so it's up to you. Even you can also use half times base times height if you know how to find the height, because the oblique triangle, if you want to find using half times base times height, you got to find the base. So that will be a bit tedious, because then you have other information to find. Okay, if you already know all the side and the angles for the oblique triangles, to find the area, it will be much easier using either this Heron's formula, or just now, much easier is actually is the half AB times C just now. Okay, half AB sine C, half BC sine A, something like that. Okay, all right. Okay, so we come to the last section. This is now the application. All right. Okay, so this is the last section. So where you're given a real life application, and this type of application, you are to actually use law of sine or law of cosine, depending on the question. So this will finish up our topic lah, basically. Okay. All right. I think, do you want to copy down the question? Maybe you copy. Maybe like in 1 minute, if you can copy the question quickly, or if you can just snap photo of this question, this example, so that we can straight away solve this. Okay. Okay, maybe you can take photo. All right, you can take the photo for this question, and maybe on your paper you can just draw this diagram. You draw this diagram so that you can follow my solution after this. Okay, and you can follow my explanation. Okay, so take photo for the question. So later on you copy back, all right, and do it properly in your paper. Right, maybe you draw this diagram, draw this triangle, so that you can follow my solution after this, my explanation. Okay, are you all ready? I hope you all are ready. Mia, you still cannot see the slide?
Yes, madam.
Oh, sorry about that, Mia. Okay, all right. Let's look at this question. Okay, so the angle of elevation. Okay, maybe can I just let me just take the photo. Then I'll just send this into the group, so that those people out there who cannot see, you can at least look at this question. Oh, okay, thank you. Someone already shared. Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, maybe Mia and Fahman, you can check the group WhatsApp. You look at the question there. Okay, that is the application question. We are going to do this. Okay, so I hope you can follow by just listening. Okay, the angle of elevation to the top C of a building from 2 points A and B on level ground are 50 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. The distance between points A and B is 30 meters. Find the height of the building. Round your answer to the nearest unit. Okay, basically, if you look at this question, the story here, the statement here, just actually to describe the diagram. Okay, to describe the diagram. And angle elevation, this is what we call angle elevation. Okay, this is angle elevation. Okay, so angle elevation to the top of the building, which is denoted by C. Okay, from 2 points A, B. So these 250 and 60 are what we call angle elevation, angle of elevation. Okay, and then you are given also the distance between point A and point B is 30 meters. So question asks you to find what is H. Okay, find H. This is what the question wants. Find this. So this, if you look at this diagram, there are two triangles. One is this triangle here. Okay, another triangle is this one. So there are two triangles. So if we want to find H, okay, from this triangle here, if you can find D, all right, this D, then you can actually establish, one trigonometric ratio. Okay, you have one trigonometric ratios. Remember, this is the angle. The angle here is given. So if this is angle, this is 90 degrees. Remember, this is what we call adjacent. This is opposite. And this is hypotenuse. So you have angle here, you have opposite side, you have hypotenuse. So remember, opposite over hypotenuse, that will be your sine 60 degrees. So that means if you want to find the H, you're going to actually use that trigonometric ratios, that sine 60 equals H over D. So your job is actually to find out what is D. So if you can find D, then you can find H later on. Okay, so now our task is to find D first. So what we can do is actually from the question here, from the diagram, okay, I'm going to just scribble the diagram first. All right. I can use the law of sine in this case if I know the other angle. Okay, I have actually this one, 30 meters here, but I do not know what is the opposite angle here. I have this angle. This is what I want to find, the opposite length. So if I can find this angle here, angle C here, all right. So if I can find this, then I can actually use, all right. I can also use my law of sine, okay, to find D, okay, to find D. All right. So that means I'm going to find my angle C, then I can find my D using law of sine. Okay, so how do we find that angle C? So this angle, this one. Okay, so from the diagram, okay, you can actually find this angle, that angle. Remember what is that angle called? You remember the term supplementary, complementary and supplementary angle? Remember complementary angle? Complementary angle? Complementary angle means sum of two angles equals 90 degrees. That is complementary. Supplementary, okay, that term, supplementary angle means sum of two angles equals 180 degrees. Okay, so that is the term we use, supplementary, complementary. So basically, again, all right, again, this one here is actually our supplementary. So you subtract 180 degrees, right? Minus 60 degrees. So then you get your 120 degrees. This one I just scribble first. After this, we will write properly. So if I know that is 120, and then I have this is 50 degrees, then I can find this, right? Because I know the sum of three angles in a triangle equals 180. So if I want this, that means 180 minus 120 minus 50. So that means what? 10, isn't it? Okay, because 120 plus 50 is 170. So this is actually 10 degrees. This is actually 10 degrees, right? 10 degrees. Okay, so how do we write? All right, in terms of solution. So when it comes to solution, you got to write at least like one or two steps. Okay, one or two steps you have to write. You cannot just scribble on the diagram and then straight away give one answer. You may actually lose marks for the method. Okay, so perhaps maybe one or two lines to write. Okay, maybe you can say if let's say consider triangle ABC, something like that. Okay, or you can say angle B. Okay, angle B. This angle B, this angle here, you can also refer as angle B. Or maybe you can say you can also say like this is triangle 1, this is triangle 2. Also can. You can just in the diagram, okay, maybe you denote this is triangle A, this is triangle B. Also can. Then you refer to that for triangle A, like that. Okay, so assuming that the first one, this is A, so for triangle A, okay, for triangle A, okay, then you can say that you can find angle B, excuse me, okay, to find, or maybe I'll just okay, to find angle B. All right, then you can just say that B equals to 180 degrees subtract by 60 degrees. This is a concept of supplementary just now. So then you get your 120 degrees. Okay, so therefore, all right, to find angle angle C, then you have your C equals to 180 degrees subtract with 120 and then subtract your 50 degrees. So then this is 10 degrees. Okay, all right, so now you're still in a triangle A, so now you want to find, this is first step, second step. Okay, so third step is to find, so now you can find D from the diagram here. Okay, so to find D, okay, this is where you can use your law of sine. Okay. All right. So how do you establish your law of sine for this? So this means if you look at this diagram again, all right, look at this diagram again. I can say D, all right, D over sine 50 degrees. Okay, equals, all right, equals 30 meters, 30 over sine 10. So that is how I establish my law of sine. Okay, again, D over sine 50 equals 30 over sine 10 degrees. So that is my law of sine. Okay, so that means D over sine 50 degrees equals 30 meters, 30 over sine 10 degrees. So therefore, D equals to 30 times sine 50 degrees over sine 10. Okay. Now, use your calculator to find the D. Okay. So 30 times sine 50 and then divide by sine 10. Alright. Okay, so I'll just take the nearest, alright, length, which is, I hope you can follow me. You can use your calculator also and compute. You should get 132. Alright, 132 meters. Okay, this is D. But what you want is H, eh? So you got D. Okay, then only in triangle B. Okay, just now I denote my triangle A and B just now. So for triangle, so now only we are referring to for triangle B or in triangle B, then only to find H, this is what you want. All right, you want to find H. So again, as I said, you can establish a trigonometric ratios. This is where you have your sine 60 degrees equals H over D. Okay, sine 60 degrees equals to H over D. So that's how we find the H. So for H, we can use trigonometric ratio, that sine 60 degrees equals H over D. That means, all right, that means H equals to D times sine 60 degrees. D, we have just found 132 times sine 60 degrees. Okay, so then 132 times sine 60 degrees. All right, again, I round this to the nearest length here. So it will be 114 meters. So that means I can conclude, therefore, the height of the building is 114 meters. Okay? Any question? I have actually one more, but I think it's almost 10. But I have one more question after this. Okay, but this is one application, real application using law of sine. Okay, using law of sine and also using other method lah. Okay, which is at the end you are using trigonometric ratios, but in between there's a law of sine that you have to apply. Okay, so this is one example. Any question for this example? Anyone?
Madam,
Yes.
Can we use the law of sine for to find hash?
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Somebody mentioned here. Sorry. This is actually not sine 50, isn't it? I press sine 60, but I write sine 50. This is 60. Sorry. This is from the question. Sorry. Oh, correct. This is 60. Correct. Okay. Say again. Shami, is it?
Can we use law of sine to find hash?
Can we use the law of sine to find h? Okay, if you want to use the law of sine, can. Because you have this, isn't it? Right? By right, isn't it? You have 90 degrees, eh? Okay, can. Because you can actually use this. Because this is known. Sorry. This is known, right? Okay, this is known
Yes.
90 degrees. Can. By right, can, yes.
So minus lah. Minus 180 minus
Because this
60.
is 90 degrees. This is already known, right? From here. D is 132, right? Okay. So you can say that sine 90, or you can say like this. Let's try this because I haven't thought about this using the law of sine, because it's just very simple looking in terms of trigonometric ratios. Okay, but if let's say we use the law of sine, okay, then our law will be like this. It will be h, if I write here, okay, h over sine 60 equals to d. Okay, d just now how much? D is 132. Okay, d is 132 over sine 90, because that is 90 degrees, the opposite. 132. Okay, but anyway, you got the same thing, isn't it? Because sine 90 is what? Sine 90 degrees is 1, isn't it?
Oh.
That's why
Okay.
you got this already here, like this. H equals to D sine 60. Same. H equals D sine 60. Basically it's the same. Okay, because sine 90 degrees is 1. Good question. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll get the same answer also. All right. Any more question? Okay, any more question? All right. Okay, I have one more question, but I don't think that we have time. But I think you copy first the question, or you take the photo first. All right, for this question. Yes.
Let's say
Alina, yes? Can you say again? There's an echo. Adelina? Adelina, you want to say something?
Madam, can you hear me?
Can
you
I
hear me?
what? Yes, okay, better.
Let's say the given sine 90 is other than 90. I mean, can we still use law sine?
If you mean if this is not 90 degrees,
Yes.
can, of course. If you know
Just
no,
stay
the
away.
law of sine, law of sine, in order for you to use law of sine, you must have that establishment, a over sine a equals b over sine b. So if you can establish something like that from the triangle, then you can actually use. Okay. All right. It's just so happen for this question, this is 90 degrees.
Okay.
Okay. If it is not 90 degrees, then it could be something else. Okay. If it is not 90 degrees, then this question, this part also, it is not going to be like this. It's not going to be like this. If the 90 degrees angle just now is not 90 degrees, then to find h is not like this. We cannot use this. We can only use trigonometric ratios is for a right angle triangle where you have a 90 degrees. Okay, only with the right angle triangle we have a trigonometric ratios like sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, cosecant, secant. That is only for the right angle. That's why we have a trigonometric ratios. If somehow you have a triangle which is not 90 degrees, then it means that we cannot use this. Then maybe it's a different method. And the fact that this is a real application question is is talking about a building. Definitely, a building is a straight building. Otherwise, it's like a pizza, isn't it? Like it's bent. This is about a real application. It's a straight building, so it's a straight. So this is 90 degrees. Okay.
Alright. Thank you, madam.
All right. Okay. All of you, you take this question first, or you can also take photos. All right, you can take photos for this question. Then maybe next session, next Tuesday, maybe we can look at the answer for this. Or perhaps if you want to try to solve first, that is even better. You solve this question and then we discuss on Tuesday. All right. And this example, just to let you know that perhaps you might want to use law of cosine for this one. Just now, example 1 is law of sine. This one, you have to apply law of cosine to solve this. Okay, so maybe you can just take photo, all right, first, and then you can try to solve this later, and we'll discuss next Tuesday. Okay, and perhaps you can also share this question also in the groups just now, for that so that your other friends also can try. Okay, any more question before we end the session? All right. Okay, if there's no question, then I will meet you again, all right, in our class session next Tuesday then. All right. So have a good weekend. Stay safe, everyone. So you can try this question, and later once I've already uploaded assignment 2, I will inform you all. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you
madam.
very much. All right, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Thank you,
madam.
madam.
Thank you, madam. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, madam.
You're welcome.